everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. I did not get out of my bed in time. This is the stupid thing. With Streamlabs, I have to get everything set up, and then I have to ask Pink Hollow to share the screen for me. And I did not get out of bed in time before Pink Hollow had to leave. So we're just doing it on YouTube today. Hey, it's a Mr. Self-Destruction and a cannibalistic wizard. Hello, you two. BP needs a sick anime theme song. BP needs a lot of things. BP needs a sick anime theme song and consistency and a whole bunch of shit. I need a lot of shit. But here we are. We're having fun. It's a Wednesday. And since the lazy fuckers in the House of Commons are being lazy fuckers and not in the House of Commons today or this week, we will not be covering question period. Because, they drop the budget and then they run away before we can actually vote on it. Because, fuck that, right? Why would we stick around to have the budget voted on, right? Oh, wait, because we know we're going to lose. That's why. So we're here. We're covering a couple of different articles and videos. And if you guys stumble across anything that you think it would be funny to watch me react to, there is a Reddit thread. It's in the description of this stream. It's r/blindpress. If you want, you can go follow that Reddit thread. And if you see anything that you think, I really want to see BP react to this, just go there and throw the link in. And me and Driving Ape will take a look. And well, if it's good, basically we're just to vet it so that I don't get my YouTube channel pulled down, right? But yeah, we'll vet it, we'll see what it is, and then we'll most likely watch it. So, and also, please bear with me because I do still have my kids home. They have a nasty, nasty chest cold. So they are curled up on the couch right now. But if I need to go check on them, I will let you know. But we should be good to go here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to share our first article. Because there's a couple of pilot projects in different parts of Canada where they're rolling out basic income. And I'm not sure where I stand on basic income because, you know what I need to do? I need to change the layout. I feel like I'm in a weird position because as a disabled person that needs disability, disability payouts, right? As somebody that requires disability, I feel like disability is not high enough of a benefit. Like the benefit has not increased with the way that the cost of living has increased. And I feel that also if you are disabled and you are in a relationship with somebody, it shouldn't matter what your partner makes. You should be able to make your disability benefit and your full entitlement because nobody else gets penalized when their partner has a job. Why should I, as a disabled person, get penalized because my partner has a job? Why should my partner feel like I am like they have to financially take care of me because they are working. That creates an imbalanced structure even among the most functional of relationships. It creates an imbalanced structure. But then on the other side, I look at something like universal basic income, and I don't think that's a good idea either, because then people won't have the incentive to go to work. I feel like I'm stuck in the middle somewhere because I understand that you can't just expect handouts, but at the same time, I'm not in a position where I can just run out and get a job. I'm disabled, and there is a certain stigma attached to hiring people like me, and people don't want to be educated on that stigma, and therefore I also feel like if you're a disabled person, you should be entitled to your full benefit without being punished. Do you get a $10 to $20 raise every year? Nope. Nope. They raised it. The disability benefit got raised a little bit last year for the first time in, I think the last time the disability benefit increased was like 10 years ago. And I'm entitled to over $2,000 a month, but it's cut in half because of Pincalo working. That's the shitty part, is that if you don't claim your partner, then you run the risk of being hit for disability fraud. And then if your partner loses their job, and then disability forces them to go on unemployment, which is federal, and then once they're on unemployment, you get kicked off disability, because if your partner's receiving federal money and you're receiving provincial money, well, that's double dipping. And they also they deduct dollar for dollar federal assistance money from your disability benefit. MRR self-destruction. That sucks. But yeah. MRR self-destruction. That's how my MRR self-destruction. That's how mine works. But ad reaction. But that's how yours works. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's bullshit. So this news article says basic income recipient says Ontario should fight poverty, not the class action she's part of. Plaintiff's lawyer says Ontario is paying $320,000 for their legal fees after trying to block lawsuit. Wow. That is a hefty legal fee. $320,000. So this says Jesse Golan has spent much of the last 6 years sharing the story of participating in Ontario's basic income pilot program. A former participant herself, the Hamilton photographer says the promise of 3 years of guaranteed income was life-changing. I bet it would be. If there had been no strings attached, it would have been hard pressing not to sign up for something like that. 3 years of guaranteed income, like you could have the chance to go and do more photography projects in her case. and earn more money that way, and then have extra money and put some aside. That's what the smart thing to do would be if you had a guaranteed income support. Then you would be, if you were smart, you would put that as, like, you would use that to pay whatever bills, and then go and do your like pet projects to make money. She was one of 4,000 low-income earners who signed up for the pilot in 2017. At the time, she was working 4 jobs and hoping to start a full-time photography business. The pilot gave Golan the chance she needed, and she calculated that she could launch the business and be earning more than the 34,000 ceiling before it ended. Oh, so she was, like, you had to earn $34,000 or less. Okay. She didn't get that chance. The Ford government canceled the pilot in 2018, within a year from its start under the previous liberal government under Kathleen Wynne. Yeah, because Kathleen Wynne had stolen a bunch of money. So you can't have they had to sort out where all the money went. This is what people don't understand. A lot of things got cut when the Ford government took office in 2018 because they had to figure out where all the money that Kathleen Wynne stole had gone. Okay? Just now, in the last budget, the autism program that got cut has just been given a whole bunch of new funding, so that Autism Ontario program is back on, right? That's a good thing. So who's to say that this basic income thing is not coming out or not going to come back? We also get a hit from my gross income, not my net. Yes, it's always been gross income, even when you weren't self-employed, honey. They hit 50% of your gross earnings. And dollar for dollar for any federal assistance. If the pilot had been allowed to continue, my life would be a lot different right now, Golan told CBC Hamilton this week. Yes, it would. But unfortunately, the government that set up that program stole literally billions of dollars, okay? And the government that came after was dealt the unenviable task of trying to figure out where the money went and how we can save some money without, going in completely into the red forever. And also, you can't, it's not just the pilot project that makes it that you're living in poverty. There's a whole bunch of other shit going on in this country. I would no longer be living in poverty, she said, and I want damages for that. Dude, have you looked around? Have you looked around at the dual income earning families that are, in poverty right now? It is not just because of the pilot project that you're still in poverty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't get your free government handout. I'm sorry you're mad, but that is not something that you need to be whining about. I stepped in cum, you. Oh, cannibalistic wizard, you're silly. This is ridiculous. Under the pilot, the 4,000 participants in Hamilton, Lindsay, Ontario, and Thunder Bay, Ontario, earning less than $34,000 a year, received just less than 17,000. Wait, let's read that again. Under the pilot, about 4,000 participants in Hamilton, Lindsay, Ontario, and Thunder Bay, Ontario, earning less than $34,000, received just under $17,000 annually. The amount decreased by 50 cents for every dollar an individual earned through work, and couples received just more than $24,000. People with disabilities received an additional $6,000 a year. An additional $6,000. Wow. We got $6,000 extra a year. Meanwhile, we're earning, I think 1 year, no joke, 1 year, I earned $12,000 from disability. $12,000. I think the highest I've earned from disability has been like 18 or 19,000. I don't think I've ever broken 20. And they're like, here, you can have an extra $6,000. Wow. This is what they think about disabled people, guys. In a class action lawsuit, which was certified by a Superior Court judge in Lindsay, Ontario on March 4th, former participants are seeking damages of up to $200 million, alleging Ontario breached the terms and conditions of the contract entered with them. Are you serious? Dude, it's a new government came in and figured out that there wasn't money for that pilot project. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, they didn't keep with the contract." If it had been the same government, yeah, I could see that. But it was a new government that came in and looked at everything and was like, "No, we can't afford this right now." And you're going to say they didn't hold up their contract? That's not how that works. Like Golem, many of the participants have recounted feeling hope as their lives improved for a time, only for them to return to poverty when the pilot ended. Guys, look around you. Everyone is living in poverty right now. Okay? Do you think we would holy fuck, all of Canada should sue the current Liberal government if that's how this is going to start working. They're not holding up their end of the government. Let's sue them. What the fuck? This is not okay. No, I'm sorry. I don't agree with this lawsuit. Jessica Tupfer said basic income was the key to unlock dozens of doors. Sorry. Oh, sorry. When she was a university student, Kennington, Ontario resident Jessica Tupfer was a part of Ontario's basic income pilot. She said the money she received allowed her opportunities she otherwise wouldn't have had. Monday at Queen's Park alongside Golem and Sheila. Oh God, Sheila. Sheila Regier of advocacy group Basic Income Canada. Lawyer Stephen Murrow announced. Oh, Stephen Murrow again, huh? Announced the province agreed to pay $320,000 in legal fees. Moreau is lead counsel representing the plaintiffs and a partner at Cavallazzo LLP. That firm also represents the Canadian Media Guild, the union to which many CBC Radio Canada workers belong. Ha! Ha! Interesting. It was with the Liberals of Ontario, Costin. It was with the Liberal government of Ontario, and then then there was an election, and the Conservatives won, and they came in and did the budget and went, "We can't afford this project," and canceled it. They can't sue they cannot sue the current government for upholding a contract that a previous government had that they determined couldn't be feasibly upheld. The government says it's working to make life more affordable. Is it? Really? Why are you not letting me read this? Moreau said the payment would go toward compensating a portion of the fees incurred while the Ontario fought the merits of the class action in court. Such a payment is common in cases like this, he said. Moreau said there are currently no court dates scheduled for the lawsuit, and it's unclear how long the case could take. He said he encourages the province settle the matter outside of court. They probably will. Yeah, Pincala is right. The Conservatives had to figure out where the gas plant money went and where the power lines that went to nowhere when that was like $3 billion alone. Yeah. The Conservatives had to find all of the money that Kathleen Wynne fucked off with. And they had a bunch of things that they knew they were going to get shit on for cutting, but they had to cut them. And in the last few budgets, they've slowly started reinstating those things. Like on Autism Ontario just got a whole bunch of money given to it. And the Ford government always said that the austerity measures were going to be temporary. Like as much of an idiot as Ford has been, and there's been a lot of things that I don't agree with him doing, that I don't feel like I feel sorry for him with all the amount of cutting that he had to do because everybody was gonna, and then nobody else caught it. But when Trudeau was running, Kathleen Wynne was speaking in his ear constantly, and now money is randomly disappearing. Yep, she was on his campaign. She certainly was. CBC Hamilton asked Ontario's Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, MCSS, which administered the pilot, about the decision to pay the legal fees. It would be inappropriate for me to comment, the ministry's communications team wrote in an email, since the case is before the court. Yeah. MCSS says the government continues to take action to make life more affordable and pointed to increases in Ontario Disability Support Program payments, the 6.5% increase in July 2023, for instance, and work to improve employment services. Golem says it's quite disgusting that the government is paying the money out of taxpayers' pockets to fight against the most vulnerable people in Ontario. She said she would much rather see resources go toward poverty reduction, renew basic income program. We are as strong as our most vulnerable members, she said, and we pay for the cost of poverty. We are as strong as our most vulnerable members. That doesn't make sense. Why do people say things like that? We are as strong as our most vulnerable. What does that mean? I don't even know what that sounds like. We're as strong as our weakest people. Because I'm sorry, vulnerability is a weakness. That's why it's vulnerability and weakness. If you looked up vulnerable in the dictionary, along in the thing that says like synonyms or other words or other things, it would say weakness, right? Or am I wrong? Furious about the cancellation, Golem started a portrait series called Humans of Basic Income to tell the stories of other participants. She's admitted she was hesitant she said many were hesitant to join in the first place because they didn't trust the government, and the cancellation validated that. No, you shouldn't have trusted the government because they were stealing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like a chain, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Yeah, I guess that's true. But seriously, she can't be mad at this government for canceling a program that the previous government really shouldn't have started because they didn't have the money to do it because they were stealing. So I don't understand. She said the cancellation caused irreversible damage, and many former participants she now calls friends have poor health and are struggling to get by. One former participant, Hamilton resident Michael Hampson, died in 2020. Golem said she thinks poverty contributed to his death, and she saw his health decline after the pilot's cancellation. Hamiltonian Michael Hampson, who died in 2020, was a participant in Ontario's basic income pilot and an advocate for people with disabilities. In November, Golem spoke at an event in Hamilton's Central Library, which researchers found that during the program, basic income pilot participants reported feeling more dignified, as well as improvements in physical and mental health, their diets, and their relationships. Yes, money is good for people. We understand. However, we didn't have the money around at the time. What do you want? Say you have your contract with the corporation and they change their CEO. You still have a contract with that corporation. Same thing here, whether you agree with the program or not. But WR Costin. Say you have your contract with Say you have a contract with a corporation and they change their CEO, you still have a contract with that corporation. Same thing here, whether you agree with the program or not. That's probably the argument that Ontario or that the lawyer is going to make on the side of the participants. That's probably exactly the argument that they're going to make. Almost every single person we spoke with used basic income in a positive way to improve their lives. The program worked precisely as it was meant to, researcher Tom McDowell said at the time. Golem said for her, it's a privilege and responsibility to share their stories. She said Ontarians need to know that participants are people like them and the impact that public policy can have. The government makes these decisions and people can die. And again, like, this is where I feel like I come into a weird position because of being on disability and feeling that I'm getting completely screwed, and because I shouldn't be punished for having an able-bodied partner. I shouldn't be public or punished for, like, financially punished because my partner works, right? But at the same time, no, not when it comes to governments. When it comes to governance, the next party can cut programs willy-nilly. Otherwise, any program that is tabled by any government in the past could not be rescinded by a future government. And that would be a big problem. But I feel very strange when it comes to the basic income thing, because I feel like I'm kind of caught in the middle, because I feel like if you're able-bodied and you're working, and like, as what needs to go down is the cost of living, right? We don't need to start handing out money. We need the cost of living to go down, right? And I feel like if you're able-bodied, handing out money is not going to make you want to work harder. It's going to make you go, why should I do my job anyway? Right? That's because I know how people work. I've seen so many people, like, get onto welfare, which is supposed to be a temporary program while you look for a job, and they just don't look for a job. And one of the things to stay on welfare is that you have to look for a job. And I see these people stay on welfare for the maximum amount of time, they get kicked off, and then they go and reapply. And they don't try to get work. And I feel like basic income for people who have the ability to work is not necessarily the best way to go. I feel like we should be focusing on improving benefits for disability recipients and seniors. I feel like the laws should change for disability recipients to where even if you have a partner that works, you should still receive your entire benefit because you are your own person, and you should be able to fully contribute to your family. And then you should also be allowed to make an extra $1,000 a month, because that's currently what I'm allowed to make right now is $1,000 a month, which, by the way, would put me up to between what I get from my disability right now, plus if I were to make $1,000 from this, I would be able to be at what my disability benefit is, like the entitlement is. That shouldn't be. It should be you get your full entitlement and you're allowed to bring in an extra $1,000. And then anything over that, you should start getting deductions. That's what I think. So don't sign a contract with the government. That's the lesson. That's the lesson. So apparently, Canada Post is refusing to collect banned guns for Canada's or Ottawa's buyback program. So Canada Post is refusing to collect firearms that were banned by the government in 2020, complicating Ottawa's plans for a buyback program to remove 144,000 firearms from private hands, federal sources say. All of them legally obtained guns. Not one single one of them were bought illegally, yet the government wants to take them away. That is ridiculous. That's my jingle for the day. The Crown Corporation that formed the government. The Crown Corporation informed the government of its position. In a recent letter, it said its decision was based on concerns about its employees' security, according to federal sources who were not authorized to discuss the matter publicly. Oh, that source there again. That source that's not authorized to discuss the matter publicly. But seriously, though, you're afraid of your safety. You're okay. Canada Post. These guns are all legally obtained by licensed people. Do you think they're going to what? They're gonna head off to the post office with their gun, and then it's all gonna be like all packaged up, ready to go, and then magically there's gonna be like this little trap door in the package, and the gun owner is just gonna like, surprise, motherfucker, all over the post office. Like, what the fuck? One key source of concern that being cited by Canada Post is the possibility of staff conflict with gun owners who have been asked to give up their so-called quote assault or quote military style weapons, which can no longer be used or sold in Canada. Yeah, people are pissed, but we're not fucking Americans, okay? I'm sorry. I love you, Americans. I love you. Okay. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberals promised a gun buyback in both the 2000. I'm letting it go. Hello?
Just stop.
Okay, I am. I already am.
I have to have a special license.
Okay.
Owned a weapon in their life and they've inherited it and they're scared that it's going to shoot them from the closet unloaded. That's why. Let them have their fear. Give me the job.
That's true. Give it to Fincolo. So they promised gun buybacks in both the 2019 and 2021 elections. That's true. They did. The government officially announced the process in 2020 and is now hoping to finalize it before the next general election set for the fall of 2025. Yeah, unless they vote on the damn budget. That's why they keep running away. They can't vote on the budget. If we're not in session, you can't vote on you can't vote on the budget if we're not in session. Federal officials told Radio Canada they still believe using the postal service will be the most efficient and least costly way to remove banned weapons such as the AR-15, which cannot be used and sold in Canada since a federal ban was imposed 4 years ago. Yes, because Justin Trudeau sees what's going on in the States and goes, "Oh my God!" Because he has to follow what Joe Biden does. Ottawa's plan is to have owners of banned guns place the unloaded and secured weapons in government-issued boxes and then send the weapons back to be destroyed. The owners would then be financially compensated. Government sources say they're puzzled by Canada's refusal to receive the weapons, since the corporation already delivers guns that are sold online. Yeah, because they know where the okay. The post office knows from what distributor they're picking up the gun and in what how it's that I understand. They would know from where they were picking up the gun. The sources insist that the discussions with Canada Post are ongoing. One possible compromise would see Canada Post transport the weapons without taking charge or receiving them. It's a challenge, but we do not think this jeopardizes our timetable with the government's desire to move forward, said one of the federal sources. We want the discussions to continue. How silly. So yeah, the gun buyback happened after that Nova Scotia shooting because, one guy in Nova Scotia who had a grudge with literally the whole fucking town. That was a weird one. It was him versus the entire goddamn town. That one was crazy. So if a person buys a gun online and then a Canada Post person delivers it, that Canada Post person, they have to pick a specific driver or postal carrier that had a license to transport? But yeah, I remember that Nova Scotia one. That was crazy. That guy with his wife and her new boyfriend and the whole town. It was crazy. He was just, it was him versus that whole freaking town. That was an insane shooting. Wow, that was, I can't believe how insane that was. I'm kind of just remembering the whole thing now. But he didn't just have assault rifles, but that's all they care about. That is all they care about. All right, let's look at some Am I the Asshole? Oops. Okay. Sorry, I just did something weird. Okay. StreamYard. Back over to StreamYard. Presenting with StreamYard. Okay, stop that. Stop it. Help! My husband thinks I'm an asshole for him wanting him to stop seeing his AP. His AP? Uh-oh. AP? I know what this is. This is think like Amazon. They don't actually have Amazon delivery drivers in Canada. They have companies that they contract to. They have companies that they contract to where they pay like $1 a package. Oh God. It wasn't just that. It was the fact that the entire situation was immediately swept under the rug and no one has heard anything about it since. Yeah, there's still an investigation going on into that between whether Trudeau and the commissioner of the RCMP were in cahoots to bury that whole situation. Okay. So we're going to read this. Ah! It's gone! It's gone! Sorry, this post was removed by Reddit's terms? By Reddit's filters? Wow. Wow, Reddit. Can't talk about having an open relationship and am I the asshole? Holy shit. That's fucked up. I wanted to read the whole thing. That's fucked up. Why can't you talk about having an open relationship and am I the asshole? That's fucking bullshit. Holy crap. That is just absolutely asinine. Well, at least there's another Reddit post I can pull up. But still, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. It was supposed to be a post about a woman who just after having 2 kids just was done with sex, like absolutely done with sex. And she told her husband that he could have a girlfriend or whatever who like and have sex and whatever. And now she's all like, do you love her more or me more? And he's like, I love you both because you give me, like, you're my wife and my friend and my partner, and she has sex with me. And she's all like, I want you to stop seeing him. It's ridiculous. I wanted to read the whole thing because you can't. First of all, oops, I shared the wrong thing. First of all, you can't just stop having sex with your, like, it's not good for you. I don't understand the women that have kids and then are like, I'm done with sex forever. It's like, why? Just, if you're afraid of having more kids, either get birth control or have him have a vasectomy or put a condom on. Like, I don't know. What do you, like, it's not that hard. But apparently she just didn't want to have sex anymore, but he did. And now she's mad that he's having sex. It's like, but you told him he could. That's not fair. You don't get to have that double standard. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Hey, it's a Gun Fox. What's up, Gun Fox? Streamlabs, you have returned. Did Streamlabs go off? Oh, I didn't put Streamlabs up. Stupid me. I should have had Streamlabs put up. Why did I not? Because even if I'm on StreamYards, if I have Streamlabs open, it notifies me. Stupid me. Let's go check what the donation is, or the thing is here. With the highlighter, you can save clips from your stream and publish them to YouTube. Oh, cool. Load, damn it. Why did voiceover just break? Hey, voiceover. What the fuck? Hey, computer. What are you doing? There we go. Holy fuck. It froze. Thank you for the dollars. Oh. Can I click the link in this? Oh, thank you for the $2. Fuck, I can't click the links. Hey, Gunny, do you have Reddit? Yeah, voiceover's like, no! Voiceover's like, shit! Don't do it! Don't do it! That's hilarious. That's too funny. I'm gonna check. Did you post them? Are you still in Discord? Oh, good, I did share. If you're still in Discord, go drop those 2 links and I'll go. Oh, or you're on Twitter again, right? If you DM them to me on Twitter and I'll grab them. No Reddit? Oh, check in random? Okay. Okay, yeah, DM them to me on Twitter and I'll pull them. I'll pull them up. So let's look at this Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for photoshopping my boyfriend's ex out of his pictures while he was at work? My 27 female boyfriend, 36 male of a year, was married in his early 20s and has 2 kids with his ex. He has 3 family pictures in his house. Okay? 3 that have her in the pictures. One, it's her with her and the kids in the middle. Of the 2 of them, it's her. In another, it's him with the kids and her off to the right, sort of, in the background. In the third, it was him and her together with the 2 kids at Mickey Mouse Disney. She has been awful to me, and I hate seeing her face. I've asked him to take the pictures down several times, but he says they are special memories with the kids. Well, yesterday I had enough. I used a scanning app on my phone to scan the photos, then paid someone on Fiverr to remove her from the photos. All 3 of the photos have looked professionally done. It's the same photos, just without her, and then went to Walmart and had them print new pictures in the same size. I put them in the frames, and I put the originals in a desk drawer. You're a psycho bitch. You are a psycho bitch. That's the mother of his kids. He may not be together with her anymore, but that's the mother of his children. And I'm assuming his children visit. So, like, why would you want them to see pictures of them and him without their mom at a trip that they all took to? That's fucked up. When my boyfriend came home, I asked him if he noticed anything different. He didn't, which is what I suspected. The photos look great, and I asked, the photos look great. Sorry, he didn't, which is what I expect. The photos look great now, and still have him and his kids. I pointed at one of them. I pointed at one of the photos. So you're pointing out the thing that you did wrong. You're like, look, see? See what I did? The photos look great now and still have him and his kids. I pointed to one of the pictures. He got livid, telling me that I was being a jealous Nancy. I admit that I laughed because what is a jealous Nancy? Well, the laughing really set him off. No shit! Oh, you can't? Did you follow me? Hold on. If you follow, you should be able to if you follow me. I don't see you. If you're following me already, unfollow me and then follow me back, and I'll follow you. I've got Twitter ready. So of course he's gonna be mad at you if you laugh at him. Well, the laughing really set him off. He asked for the originals back and said he was going to put them back up, and gave me an ultimatum and told me to either accept his past relationship or move on. I said, I guess you don't want to be with the jealous Nancy. And he said, no. I laughed again, and he asked me to leave. I had not heard from him since, but expect him to get over it. Really, this woman has been terrible to me. I'm not going to get into it, but she has been cruel to me, to the point of him breaking contact with her except by text to talk about the kids. I think I have every right to not want to see her face. One of the pictures is in his bedroom even. Maybe I should just get over it. I felt like I was doing him a favor because at least I didn't just cut her out, which was my original plan. Am I the asshole? Huh? Wow. Wow. Dude, your boyfriend broke up with you. And you're just too stupid to realize it. Like, seriously. Your boyfriend broke up with you. You told him, you laughed. You laughed at him for calling you jealous. And you don't understand that he's telling you to leave. Really? Copy message link. Like, I'm sorry, woman. Those are the mother of his children. And though they may not be together anymore, he still has memories of going with his children to Disney. And those are memories that have her in it. And not everything in that relationship was bad, obviously, because he made kids with her. Like, you need to get over that. That is insane. And the fact that you don't understand that what was I saying? That you if you don't understand that people can have memories of somebody and not like want them back, and if you can't separate the past relationship from yourself, then maybe you should move on. And your boyfriend should look for somebody more mature, because you're like 26 going on 16 at this point, and your boyfriend needs to find a more mature person. Hey, ghost dog. I got it. I got them. Okay. That is she is completely the asshole in this. And she's like, I have a great relationship with his kids. Well, then you shouldn't have cut the fucking X out of the picture. That is the best way for you to not have a great relationship with his kids anymore. By the way, that is like the perfect way to make his kids hate you. Because those kids already know that there's tension between you and their mother, first of all, and they already feel guilty for having a good relationship with you. Okay? And now you're going to go and cut the photo out of or her out of the photos. What kind of message does that send them? That you can't be an adult and deal with their mom, who they love because she's their mom. As flawed as she is, they have no choice but to love her because they don't have an option. They don't know the difference. So of course they love her. You still need coffee? I'm sorry, honey. So yeah, you are completely the asshole and your boyfriend has dumped your ass. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy with yourself. Because you ruined your relationship. Because you couldn't just deal with it. What a pathetic little girl. Ah! Why did you do that? That's retarded. It took me to the random channel, not to. That's fucking stupid. It took me to my Discord server, not the links wow. That's stupid. That is stupid. There. Finally. Okay. The fuck? Why is that? Ugh. Okay, I can't get this to work. Sorry, Gunfox. You'll have to send it to Pink Hollow. I tried. It's trying to save me. Psycho hose beast is the term I'm thinking of. Yes. Open door swiftly. Place boot on ass. Yep. Because that's the thing. Like, why would you do that to the children? That's fucked up. That is so fucked up. This reminds me of when my stepmother was like, you have to call, like, when she was starting to adopt the kid, like her kid, she was like, you have to call me mom because it'll confuse them if you call me by my name. And I'm like, but I already have a mom. And she's like, but if don't you feel that I'm your mother too? Like it was this whole guilt trip thing. And like I of course had my issues with my mom, but that was my mom, right? Like I loved my mom and I felt like I would be betraying her if I called my stepmom mom. It was just a big fucking crazy mess. Like, ugh. That those poor kids. That's all I can say. Is those poor kids. And I really wanted to read that one article because it was about the big gold thing, the big guns and gold, the big gold thing the big gold heist that was happening that the police figured out in Canada. Will the computer try to save you from your doom? Will the king of news ranting bring back the I wanted to read that thing about the gold because I had read that the cops had gotten it busted the jewel heist ring, but I didn't know it had to do with guns, which of course if you think about it, it makes sense because why on earth would all of the illegal guns stop now that we're giving up our legal guns? Like, this is the big thing. They all say we need to give up the legal guns because that will stop the illegal guns. And it's like, how? Do you think that all of the law-breaking gun holders will be like, oh, they're giving us money for our guns? Shit, I'd rather have money than a gun. Because there's no way I could get more money with the gun I have already. No, I can only get money if I turn in my illegal gun. Oh boy, I better do that. Yep, the maple syrup heist. Yep, that was also a thing. The $35 billion in maple syrup. Yep. That was totally a thing that happened. Oh my goodness, those poor kids. They keep coughing and coughing. I'd rather have my guns than government funny money. Yeah. I did. Yeah, you did get me to cover that, and I did die from laughter. You're right. You are absolutely correct. Oh my god. Okay, let's see why the internet is broken.
It's definitely like really relevant considering the video we just looked at with those guys, you know?
Amazon sucks right now. Uber sucks right now. Netflix sucks. Facebook sucks. Instagram sucks. Every big tech company is changing in front of our very eyes. And I know I usually try and see the bright side of tech, but for this video, I just want to be very brutally honest. I think most of these services we use are worse than you think. And I want people to do something about it.
Well, yeah, they are worse than we think. And what are we going to do about it? Seriously. You broke it. Oh, God.
The first thing to understand is basically every big tech company follows the exact same pattern. Something that a guy called Cory Doctorow summarized really well with the term enshittification.
Enshittification. Oh, I see.
Enshittification? What? Enshittification. That is... I don't know what to make of that.
I remember watching videos about video games that have enshittification.
See, when any of these companies first start, their only chance of succeeding is to go above and beyond for their users by solving a key problem.
Let's take Uber, for example.
It's the bait and switch.
Uber came in 2009, and I remember first using it around that time and thinking, this is the end for traditional taxis. This is far more convenient. The taxis find me instead of the other way around. The drivers are friendlier, the cars are cleaner, and it did all of that while being so much cheaper.
That's the real reason why Uber was popular. It's because it was really cheaper and easier to use.
It was. And like even the times in 2023 when I used Uber and I used it, it cannot handle my true unlimited power. Phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty living space.
Uber at the start was 50%, sometimes 30% of the price of a traditional taxi.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, even with Uber, even in the times that I used Uber, it was more convenient than a taxi. The taxi, like, there was one time where I had to call an Uber because the taxi didn't show up. And, like, the Uber showed up in 30 seconds after I called it. And, like, but the thing is that they do all these weird, like, price hike things during peak periods, and the guide dog refusals for Uber are ridiculous. Like, the amount of people that see you with a guide dog and will just drive away and cancel the ride without even saying anything.
And so it's not surprising just how quickly people flooded onto Uber. I remember that within just about a year of it becoming operational.
It's crazy to think, like, if you go back and you watch Trading Places with, is that Eddie Murphy in the movie?
That was a great movie.
How many taxis there were everywhere. Taxis everywhere. And, like, you go look at a new movie, there's no taxi. Nope. It's like one of those things where it, like, kind of dates a movie.
Went all the way from Party Trick to an essential app that everyone should have. But then things changed. As soon as Uber felt like they had the user side of the market cornered, completely locked into the app, they switched focus to the other side. the drivers, because the users aren't going anywhere at this point. And so if Uber can manage to control them and also the drivers, Uber owns the market. It means the users will have to stay where the drivers are, and the drivers will have to stay where the users are. So they sweeten the deal for them. Uber started handing out sign-on bonuses for new joiners.
And this is what a lot of companies do, is that they will actually like basically sell at a loss in order to break into a market. And then after they've established market dominance, then they raise the prices. It's an extremely common business practice, and it happens everywhere, not just in tech.
Yeah, and you see it, you do see it all the time. It's super, super frustrating. It is super, super frustrating.
There's actually a lot of like laws against it. Loss leaders, like it's something that's much greater than that. Like a loss leader is something that gets you to go in the store.
They started giving cash back on fuel and discounts on car maintenance. They paid their drivers 80% of what the app made. And the best part of it was surge pricing. Anytime there was a pickup in demand, drivers could well earn 2 times, 3 times, sometimes more. I remember
that's why, like, on days where it's like New Year's Eve or like Halloween or anywhere that does an Oktoberfest festival, Uber drivers are everywhere because the surge pricing will go up, and then like it'll be, instead of something that takes you that is $10 to get you home, it'll be like $30 to $40 to get you home, but you're fucking drunk as fuck and you need it, right? So you pay it.
I remember coming out of a music festival once thinking, I don't need to book my car. Uber will sort me out.
Yeah,
only
and
to
it's like
realize that
$45.
because I was coming out with crowds of other people, my only way to guarantee that I got an Uber was to outpay all of them. With 5 times surge pricing.
I will give you a follow.
I paid £100 for a 15-minute cab ride. But there is a third stage to this master plan.
Because what does Uber do when they have the users, when they know they're by far the most convenient way to hail a cab, and they have the suppliers, the ex-taxi drivers, the restaurant takeaway drivers, the package delivery drivers? Well, that is when true amplification occurs.
That's whenever
they
the price
gave users
goes
a
up.
surplus at the start to make their app essential, then shifted to giving suppliers that surplus to get them all on it, to build monopoly power and make it much harder to get a car outside of Uber. But this is the point where Uber and every other big tech company in this position will take all of that surplus for themselves. Because A, well, they can, but also B,
you can't stop them at that point. Like, there's nothing else that's going to come and like change the market. And this is kind of like what I was saying before about how like the first thing a free market does is stop being free, because like this is a free market, really. Uber came in and they weren't breaking any rules. They just beat the competition.
But this is why people like Pinkalo are so important, because they're not part of this like crazy shitification process there, and like he's directly in competition with like those stupid those package by the hour people.
And then after you beat the competition, then you change the rules.
Because by the time a company reaches this stage, more than likely they are a public company, which means that the decisions aren't being made by one potentially passionate founder, but instead just many, many shareholders. And because shareholders aren't usually as invested in the long-term health of the business, they just want the business to earn quick money so that they can cash out. Their objectives often boil down to, how do we make the users pay up until the absolute limit of what they're willing to, but just not past it? And then how do we pay the suppliers the absolute least that they're willing to take, but just not less than it?
Exactly. It's a balancing act between how much money are we willing, like, because they don't want to have to pay out tons of money, right? They want to keep all of that money for themselves. So they're like, okay, how are we going to keep this going from our users' standpoint without making us have to pay the suppliers? We don't want to have to pay the suppliers a good wage. How do we do this?
I think that with a lot of shareholders in publicly held companies, it doesn't even go that far. They want the line to go up.
Holy
and if the line
fuck.
isn't going up, then they get rid of the people that are making the line not go up, and they get people that make the line go up. Because a lot of like shareholders in companies don't really have intimate knowledge in the businesses that they're investing into.
That's true.
right? Like they have like general knowledge, like to an extent, but they're not like voting. Like they don't really have any vested interest. That's
This
Bobby.
is what
Yeah, exactly. That's where
looks
Bobby
like
comes in.
And it all starts with tiering, splitting the base service up into multiple tiers, all at
Well, it's like
different
Amazon's
price
doing
points.
this now.
And on the face of
Netflix
it,
too.
that sounds great. Like on Uber, for example, it means that you can now get priority if you want faster, comfort, which is newer cars with more legroom, exec, which is high-end cars with top-rated drivers, and then Lux, which is the very, very top end. Think about it. Now that they offer all of these options,
and then there's Uber Pet and Uber X, like with the big car, like if you need a bigger car.
Didn't even know they had
what
the
happens
luxury
when
one.
you're just getting a normal Uber now? You get extremely long wait times because no driver who can charge exec prices is going to take a ride for normal prices. You get all the drivers who don't qualify for high-rated service and all the cars that don't count as new enough for comfort. And
I'm gonna be honest. Like I've used, like whenever my car was fucked, I had to use Uber. I have never had a bad experience with Uber once, and I've never used anything except for the base Uber. Every person that I've had has been like within like 10 minutes. The quality has been great. Like one time, like I had a really, really bad thing happen. I lost my phone in an Uber.
Oh shit.
And I remember the guy drove all the way from North Austin back down to give me my fucking phone.
Oh, wow.
I gave the dude $200.
No shit. I would that's amazing. That no taxi would do that. They'd just leave it at the depot and you'd be I left my cane in a cab once and they just dropped it off at the cab depot. And I think I either got it back from the cab depot or I just had to get a new cane because it was just gone. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I just had to get a new cane.
Right? I was like, I cannot express how much this means, right? I was like, thank you so much. But like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a bad day for me. Very bad day. Most of the drivers are great guys. Yeah, the app is atrocious. Yeah, like, I mean, I've only had good experiences with Uber. I think the real problem is, I think it's probably regional. Like, I'm in Austin. There's a lot of people that do it here, and it's pretty normalized, so it's probably not so bad. But I bet in other places, like, his experience is probably just as valid as mine is for where he's at.
Trust me when I say the requirements for comfort are not very high. This idea of splitting things up to offer more premium services is not inherently bad. It's just the way these companies achieve this is much less about making the experience better for the people who are paying more, but much more about just making it worse for the people who aren't. Uber isn't changing the pool of cars on the road to accommodate these tiers. They're the same cars, the same people with the same training, but it's just now they're segregated in a way that each user pays the maximum they're willing to pay, and the service provided is the bare minimum for that price.
They do the same thing with video games. They're like, here you can buy, like for example, the PlayStation Plus, right? For online, right? I have a PlayStation Plus account, right? But then there's the PlayStation Premium Plus, right? And if you pay extra for that, then you get all these extra things. And you're a special PlayStation Premium Plus member. And it's like, it's stupid.
I love how you make it sound like it was. Only one time you have lost 5 canes and tabs over the years and all of them got replaced. But
I love how you make it sound like it was only one time you have lost 5 canes and cabs over the years and every one of them have got replaced. Shh! You're not supposed to say I've lost 5 canes and cabs. That's I Oh my god, I just saw that this is a 55-minute video. Holy fuck. God damn. That cough is so bad, even with medicine. Holy shit.
Or take Netflix. When Netflix first started, it felt...
Yeah, like, as I've said, I think that my experience with Uber has been nothing short of perfect. I have never had a bad experience ever. With Netflix, however, I do think that my experience and quality has gone down tremendously because the breadth of shows that they're able to provide is weaker.
Yeah, I don't like now that all these like Paramount and all of that. They're coming out with their own shit, so they're yanking things off of Netflix. And like one of my kids' favorite shows, Octonauts, which has been on Netflix since ever, like literally since forever. We've never had cable ever since we've left my mother's place. We have not had cable. And my kids have been watching Octonauts on Netflix since we've moved to our last house in 2017. And they are taking Netflix off, or they're taking Octonauts off Netflix on Monday or Tuesday. And I'm like, of course, because it's by a different company and they have their own streaming service. So it's probably going over there. And it's like, it's so frustrating. It's the same with, we had to get, what was it? City TV Plus through Amazon Prime, because with 2 shows now, we've gotten through like up to, I think it was season 9 with Chicago Med, and was it also season 9 with Chicago Fire, or season 10 with Chicago Fire? But it was something like that. And they were like, no longer available on Prime Video. You have to subscribe to this extra thing for the rest of the seasons. And it's like, what the fuck? Why are you making us, you give us most of the show for free with our Prime subscription, and now you're like, ha ha ha, the last seasons are behind a paywall, fuckers. Like,
revolutionary. I can pay £5.99 a month, which is cheaper than an average movie ticket nowadays, and get all of this
all the
ad
movies
free.
But then Netflix introduced 4K quality, which instead of just being added to the base service, became part of a separate tier, now being charged at £17.99 a month. Then
I will say that I agree with his overall thesis of this video. However, I do think that 4K is an acceptable upcharge because so few people use it, and it costs so much more. YouTube does this as well. I think YouTube only does it actually for 8K.
I will say yes to that, because and still $17.99 for 4K. It's not like you're paying a full cable price for that.
Went as far as to introduce adverts back into your movies after the whole deal about this being the way to watch movies without adverts. And unless you upgrade to the middle subscription tier, which is £10.99, you're going to get those adverts. Netflix isn't even the worst offender, to be honest. At least their
Amazon, I think,
is cheaper than the normal tier, whereas Now TV and Amazon Prime, they just stuck ads into the normal tier. The point is, tiering is not being used to benefit the user.
We pay like $80 a year for Prime. And we get now, luckily the ads for Prime are kind of like, they're very similar to the way Twitch ads run, and they seem to be put right where commercial breaks would usually be, and there's only like 3 of them. The City TV app is horrible for fucking ads. They have been putting ads in the middle of dialogue. Like, the characters in Chicago Fire will be in the middle of a sentence, and then a fucking ad will show up. It's fucking frustrating. It's fucking frustrating.
The user. It's being used to charge you more if you're willing to pay more. And then
tiering is used as a form of what's called anchoring, like price anchoring, where like you create a low value and then you scale up from that value to create a perspective difference in value. It's like a psychological trick.
Give you the minimum acceptable experience if you're not. And that brings me on to subscriptions in general. Subscriptions on their own, they can be fine. They can be a way to make services
By the way, his argument for subscriptions, I bet, is going to be my same argument for battle passes in games, where they're not fundamentally bad, but when everything has them, they become bad.
accessible instead of having to front load a big upfront cost. They can be a way to force companies to continue to provide value and updates over a period of time. But the way that these big tech companies are using subscriptions now has meant that we're often not paying those monthly subscriptions instead of the bigger upfront costs. We're paying them both. And you're actually getting a worse service now whilst paying for a subscription than you were originally for free.
That is true. That is the problem. And that is why it feels different, I think, than it used to, because it feels like things are going backwards instead of improving.
Like Amazon, for example. The entire purpose of Amazon Prime was unlimited one-day deliveries. So why is it that now we're also having to often pay to get the fastest delivery? And for many products, actually having to hit a minimum spend just to get that perk, which is how every online store has ever worked since the very beginning, but without needing to pay a monthly fee. Or
I've never really had that problem, personally.
I don't think... I don't think we've ever had to pay extra for faster shipping. It's been next day with Prime. I've never had that.
Like my mom, whenever my mom and both my mom and girlfriend lived in this house was an unofficial Amazon warehouse. I swear to God, we would receive at least 3 packages and usually 7 packages a day. Why the fuck do you think my house is a mess? Do you think it's a mess because of me? Fuck no. It's because of her and them. It's not my shit down there. It's their shit. I've still got our fucking TV.
What about your bedroom there, Az? Is it a mess because of them?
Uber. I regularly used to take Ubers to go see Drisha early on when we were dating. She was about 120 miles away, and it used to cost about £120. But over the last few years, I have seen that price not just creep, but soar up to 150, 200, 250, and now £300. Uber has gone from half the price of a normal taxi
to be fair, a lot of things have gone from that price.
Yeah.
Like we have had, as I said, like we talked about this with fast food a lot, right? A lot of things have gone to that price. Like 2.5xing. I mean, like for fast food, yeah.
Yeah. They're like the McDonald's value meals are now like back in the good old days when a value meal was valuable, what they're charging for one value meal now, you would get like 3 value meals for. It's crazy.
I love how That's about what I charged for a package to get delivered the distance.
That's about what I charge for a package to get delivered that distance. Oh yeah? 300 for 120 miles. Yeah, that for a delivery that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not saying it. I'm saying this problem, like his problem is multiplied by an existing problem. So it feels like even worse.
More expensive than just calling up your local cab company and pre-booking a car. And remember, that's for the lowest tier, which because this tiering exists means that you are specifically selecting a car that's at least 8 years old with a driver who's completed less than 100 trips or someone who just hasn't been able to keep a good rating. And you remember that surge pricing we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
That still exists, but now you just don't see it. Instead of Uber telling you that you're about to pay 3 times what you should be paying, it just doesn't. So that you
that's smart. Like if I was Uber, I would have done that too. It's like, we're going to tell you that we're going to charge you more money. What fucking idiot thought that was a good idea? Just charge them more money.
Just do it. Yeah.
Losing your reference point of what the journey even should cost. And that is where the subscription service comes in to save the day. Uber One. I'm paying for it every single month. It gives you a 5% discount on your rides.
They got Robert
free delivery
De Niro
on Uber Eats food orders. I'll get to that one very soon because that is actually an even bigger problem in itself.
Oh, Uber Eats. Yes. The thing, Uber Eats and DoorDash. Those fucking things. But yeah, the Uber One subscription where you get the You can bundle your Uber services into one thing.
But the point I'm trying to
No
make
wonder
here
they
is
ain't profitable. What the fuck you need him there for?
that if Uber is just inventing the price, if Uber is just deciding how much it can charge you for this particular journey, as opposed to giving you an actual breakdown of why it costs what it costs, then a 5% discount on a made-up price, it doesn't actually mean anything.
Nope.
And you're still
This is actually illegal in Brazil. And I think it's also illegal in some places in Europe. And I am not 100% sure on this, but I think it's also illegal in Australia.
Why is it not illegal in
far more
places?
than you used to just a few years ago for the same
Naturally, of course, it's illegal here in America, right?
No, of course not. Of course not. Here in America, you guys got to milk each other for everything you've got.
And now you have a monthly expense as well that further ties you into using Uber and Uber only for all your driving and delivery needs. And if you're enjoying this rather painful video, then a sub to the channel would be ironic.
Yeah.
Good one.
Asking you for a subscription. But this one's free, and we do try very hard. So.
People don't have problems with subscriptions. People have problems with things that disrupt their normal flow of activity that cost money. Like going to another website or spending money.
Anyway, if you're wondering why that Uber now costs £300, well, it's not because the drivers have started earning more. The biggest way that companies like Uber and Amazon, once they become the default option, start to take all of that surplus away is simply by extracting the largest cut that they possibly can from every transaction. Let's call this the platform fees.
I love how DoorDash and Uber Eats has like the price of the food is higher.
Yep.
On the app, you have the service fee, you have the tip, and you have the delivery fee.
Yep. And you have to tip. There's no no tip order or thing, right? It's you've got to. I actually know unless you hit other and put in like 0. That's about it. And I've done the math. I've actually had to use DoorDash a couple of times back in the old house, and it was 20 to feed me and the boys at McDonald's is $25 if you walk into McDonald's and order what we order. Okay, for DoorDash it comes out to $50. That extra $25 is all in tip and delivery fee and service fee. That is bullshit.
What are you doing? What are you doing with this? What's going on here, you know? That's crazy.
Let me show you Uber Eats for a minute. So I fancy some McDonald's chicken nuggets.
No, you don't. You fancy some McDonald's chicken McNuggets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have nuggets at McDonald's. They have McNuggets.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wow. So the first thing you'll notice is pricing. Almost every item of food on Uber Eats is between 10 and, no joke, 100% more expensive than it actually is in person. Like 20 chicken nuggets, £6.99.
Nah, bro. No. Like it's expensive even at the building now.
Yeah, but it's more expensive than it is at the building.
Like, when was the last time you went to McDonald's? Because I feel like it's a lot even if, whenever I got I went to McDonald's yesterday. And I went to McDonald's the day before that too. He's right. Like I feel like the price is higher, but it's like on an app, I feel like the app price is like 20% higher, like 10 to 20.
That seems like an awful lot. But okay.
It's not crazy, but it's
so
just like
we go
more.
Into our basket. Oh, look at that. Add £8.01 to save with Uber One. So again, notice, just like with Amazon Prime, Uber is trying to frame this as if I'm getting some sort of perk.
So if you spend $8 more, you get a discount with Uber One.
Free delivery is something that I'm actively paying a monthly subscription just to get, and the app is denying that benefit until I hit a minimum spend.
Well, you didn't read the asterisk. You see the fucking asterisk. I see that. Oh, Yeah, you ever see one of these, it means you're not getting it. Yeah, if there's an asterisk like this next to some bonus, it's not really going to happen. It's an ass trick? Yeah, exactly.
An ass trick.
Which, by the way, almost always means wastage. I mean, it's encouraging people to order more than they want to order.
Yeah.
Besides, what can I order that's going to exactly hit £8?
Well, based in America, they don't waste it. They eat the whole thing. Says here I got to spend $20 at McDonald's to save $5. Well, if I only spend $10, it's like I'm losing $5. So I better spend $10 to save $5.
Yeah.
I guess I got to eat everything. If I don't eat it all, I'm wasting the money. So I vegan everything. There it is.
That's exactly the way that that's how it works. Not to mention the fact that they use menus that aren't even up to date from the places. That's true too. That is also true. The menus on the apps are often not up to date.
It's a 600 pound.
I'm going to have to go over.
600
but
pound
anyway,
life.
let's go to the next page. Oh, people also ordered to really try and tempt me into getting those group savings. But no, resist. Next.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh my goodness, would you look at that? Priority delivery.
Yeah.
£2.49. And just to be very clear, priority delivery isn't some sort of hyper-accelerated, personalized service that would very much be worth that price. All it means is your driver doesn't take stops on the way to you.
Yeah. So, like, Uber drivers can pick up people or deliveries on the way to your location. But if you check that box, then the driver just doesn't do that.
You know, exactly how every takeaway service ever used to work. And this is a great example of tiering.
I'm not sure if that part of his argument is true, because my friend works at a pizza delivery driver, and he would do multiple deliveries before he went back to the pizza delivery place.
Pretty sure that pizza drivers have more than one pizza box in their car. Like, I remember when we used to order pizza back in Waterloo, there was a guy, he had, when he brought our pizza, he had like a big like bag thing that he had all the pizza boxes in, and he would take ours out. Like, it was not just our pizza alone.
Like, it depends on delivery place. Yeah, I guess you know what? You're probably right. Yeah, it probably depends on the place.
When Uber Eats first started, it was just an assumed thing that, of course, your driver's going to come straight to you to deliver your order.
Yeah.
Up until normal restaurant takeaway service have been eliminated. And now, well, you want fast, you pay for fast. So, okay, fine, we're going to go priority. I don't want my food to be cold when it gets to me. And then you scroll down and, oh, priority.
Fees, priority delivery, tip, like, and then the price of the food is a little bit higher. Like, oh my God.
May as well just walk to the McDonald's.
You know what you feel like in these apps? You feel like, you ever see like those fucking nature documentaries where it's like some whale is like dying, or like some big fish is like getting eaten by predators, and they're just taking little bites off of them?
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
And like before you know it, they're just like that's basically you.
Holy shit.
Charge at £4.78. And that's because it's actually on top of an already existing base delivery fee. And then there's just fee. So if I click that, it says part of that is the small order fee for orders less than £10, because orders less than £10 should have an extra charge because they're going to cost more to be delivered. What? Because the priority delivery fee is my delivery fee. So why is there a separate delivery fee?
That's interesting. So it's
their double delivery feature. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Seriously. Fuck delivery apps.
So it's a small delivery fee.
And then watch, they charge you if you order
the fact that my order is small. You see what I'm saying? And then there's the service fee. And this is what Uber wants you to think of as their cut. But
that's
the
how
truth
freight
is,
works.
Uber
Yeah,
is
I know.
taking a slice out of every single part
Like
of
for
this
an individual,
pie.
it sucks.
So McDonald's chicken nuggets price. Okay, so it's
Chicken McNuggets.
£4.49 on the McDonald's app. which basically means that just for delivery, Uber is taking 70% of the value of the order.
Jesus.
What a joke. And this is actually what I find the most insulting part of it. It's the fact that we're paying a monthly subscription for Uber One, right?
He didn't even talk about the tip. Maybe he did. I don't know if I don't think he did.
Just paid extra for priority delivery, which says between 10 and 20 minutes. But when you click order, Uber will only get involved and even think about refunding you anything
They're
if
in the
order
future.
actually takes 45 minutes or longer. Okay, so just to be very clear.
Let me see what it would be for me right now.
45 minutes
here in
for
America.
chicken McNuggets. That's crazy. And it's $2 more on the Uber Eats app than it is on the McDonald's app. That's just the base price before you like put all the fees in.
Let's say I'm going to order a milkshake, okay? So large Oreo shake is $7.49.
Holy shit.
So I add item, I view cart, I'm looking at $17.
Holy fuck, $10
Subtotal
extra.
is $7.49. Delivery fee is $5.99. Fees and estimated tax are $3.62, and then I'm going to continue. And then the standard delivery with a $2 tip is $19 for one
milkshake,
large Oreo shake. And that's only a $2 tip. That's crazy. You're paying double? No, you're paying triple.
Yeah.
Because I've been there before. It's like $5.99 or something like that, I think. And so you're actually paying triple.
Special guarantee just for me
you're
because I'm
You're almost paying. Yeah, you're paying triple.
Your highest paying customers is that my order will not take 2.5 times longer than the upper limit of what you just guaranteed it might.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Uber One. It is mortifying how much they're exploiting the consumer here. I mean, imagine what happens if companies like this get in charge of your medical and emergency services.
Well, luckily that's not
he understands he has an international audience, right? And so like this theoretical isn't a theoretical for us. We don't have to imagine that. Yeah, who's going to tell him?
Amazon is just as bad. The other day, Drisha was buying a batch of mini little hampers for some gifts she was putting together. £12.99 is the absolute cheapest you could find them on Amazon. And just before we checked out, we thought, let's just do one little checkout.
And this is the case. I had to buy an inhaler for my dad that was like $400 or something like that. Like, you think about it, how does a person pay for a $400 inhaler?
They usually can't. $400. That's a full house of groceries. That is paying most of your bills off for the month. That is a lot of money for an inhaler.
How do you do that? You got to sell crack.
Where? And
it's the only
within
way,
a minute of browsing outside of Amazon, we found them for £4.
It's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking, well, I've paid my delivery fee. That's what I'm paying the subscription cost for. There's no way that this thing is going to be cheaper in another store that I'm not paying a monthly fee to have free delivery from.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to think. But the truth is, Amazon is charging for Prime. Amazon is charging extra for delivery in some cases. Amazon is charging sellers to sell on the platform, and then they're charging you extra to buy on the platform. And you can even notice this effect.
So one really good way that you can tell that Amazon is making a lot of money is whenever they have a list of all of the richest people, Jeff Bezos is always on that list. And usually he's pretty close to the top. So it's like, how do you think he got all that money? Well, I mean, like, it's obviously working, right?
Yep.
With free platforms. Social media, for example, even though companies like Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube, even though they're not directly charging you, will still absolutely find ways to maximize their earnings from you once they know that you're in.
Absolutely. That's why they throw ad sponsors at you. That's why they throw little flashy sponsorship images.
Once Facebook had got everyone to sign up for the first time by being this open haven where you come to keep connected with every single person you know and love, they became very aware that no individual person could just leave. That would be social suicide. So Facebook could crank that money-making lever as much as they wanted to.
They could
How many Farmville ads do you get?
Oh, God.
Ads. They could charge companies as much as they wanted to target those ads at you. They can curate your feed, taking the people you follow not as commands of what you want to see, but just suggestions.
They can not only track your stuff based on your feed, they will track where you go. They will track where you, like, I had my phone on me one time and I went to a Timothy's Coffee in a mall. I got home and I was scrolling Facebook and I had Timothy's Coffee ads because my phone was near a Timothy's Coffee. It's like, what the fuck?
Suggestions that are quite quickly discarded as soon as Facebook realizes what they can show you to make more money out of you.
Now, where this all gets really deceptive is the dark patterns, basically tricks that companies employ to make you do things that you didn't mean to do. Chicken nuggets are here. I'm actually fasting, so I can't eat them. There you go, enjoy them. They were £13.75. Last year, actually, I signed up to using an app called Piccolo. It's just a social or drinking game where it serves you prompts on your phone, and then you get those people to do those things. Like, hey, Brian, from now on, you have to do the worm every single time you say something. Sorry, Brian. The game's got a 3-day free trial. Oh, great. But then it's £4.49 per week.
What? $4.50 a week? Who's gonna pay that money to play a game?
£4.49 per week for a game that's very clearly been designed to be played once a month at most. And I would have happily bought it for £4.49 or even £10 if that's what they charge it as a one-off.
I should make an app like that. That's a good idea. I bet you get so many dumb drunk people that get something like that. Yep. That's such a good idea. Holy shit. And they're gonna forget about it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how it used to be before the subscription thing took over.
That's smart.
Anyway, I need to start doing I played the game with my friends. We were drinking, so I didn't specifically remember to cancel it when I woke up the next day. And it took half a year. When my accountant asked, what is this £4.49 every week going to Apple? When he mentioned it, I realized I had seen it a couple of times coming up on my accounts, but because it was just a payment to Apple, I assumed, oh, it must be iCloud or something.
Oh, that's shady as fuck. That's shady as fuck. They do get you with that stuff because it just says Apple services. It doesn't tell you what specifically it is.
Negligent on my end? Yes, absolutely. But I'm human. I forgot once, and my penalty for that for playing one phone game for 2 hours one night, about £110.
Oof.
You could have just played Honkai Star Rail.
There are plenty of subscription services I have that I think
only
are fair,
been $100.
This is a very clear example of one that is predatory. One whose entire business model clearly revolves around charging an unfair...
Oh, there's a lot of these where it's like, well, you want the free trial? Okay, well, here's the crazy thing about the free trial. You're going to get a 30-day free trial, but on the 23rd day, we're going to start charging you for the full thing.
Yeah.
So... you have to cancel before then.
And the only way you get a free trial is if you put in your credit card information. Just in case, just in case you decide to buy, it'll be easier for you later when you decide to actually sign up. So you may as well just put your credit card info in now.
But the only time that you can find out that we actually charge you on the 23rd day, and we are going to need your credit card for this, for the free trial.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of the things that I always ask people whenever they say we're giving out free subscriptions to something is I ask them how much the free one costs whenever I'm at a store somewhere.
Yeah.
And like, I don't do this anymore because I value my time and I don't want to have some sort of like fucking Reddit moment against like some person who works at AT&T. But whenever I was younger, I did do this. And I would ask them, like, how much does the free one cost? And they would be confused. And I would be like, well, what do I have to do to get it? And they're like, well, you have to put in your information. I said, okay, so it costs my phone number. Yeah, no, thank you. Because there is always a cost.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
Price and hoping that people will forget. Another dark
And they'll
pattern
sell
that I
your
see
information
so much
too.
of nowadays
Oh, yeah.
is the manipulation of the default option. Like,
Yeah.
I shop a lot on Amazon, right? And the reason for that is that even though I know they're often no longer the cheapest, is that they're basically the only company whose delivery infrastructure I can mostly rely on. The only company for who, when they say next day, it really does mean
Next
that it
day.
will come next day.
I've had really great experiences with Amazon, and I've never really had a bad experience. Amazon's.
The only time we've never had anything delivered, my mom ordered a costume for my oldest, and she had it sent to our P.O. box. It never showed up. Never showed up. We call that the phone sex model. All those 900 numbers that required a credit card to get those free 5 minutes back in the 90s. Yep.
Sounds great.
The key problem that Amazon first solved for its users. It's what got us all so invested in the platform, and what got me and millions of others to start paying monthly subscriptions to Prime. But now Amazon, as well as oftentimes introducing minimum order quantity to get that free delivery, also often pre-selects the slower delivery option with, and I've looked into this, no way to stop it doing that. So let me just get this straight. You're charging me a monthly subscription for unlimited next day delivery, but then assuming
they
that
pre-select you for not next day delivery. That's
again, never.
You know what? That. Like going back to that first term at the beginning of the video, the enshittification. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's just about right.
Yeah, it really is, and like I think I want to, like, at the risk of like not repeating myself over and over again, because there's still like 25 minutes of this video left. I feel like we're seeing more and more enshittification with not just companies, but with products. We're seeing it with the way products are made, and we're expected to just replace instead of have things repaired. It's become commonplace that even products that are well made, like Pink Hollow, for example, went to Canadian Tire the other day and saw coffee carafes that go into the $35 coffee maker that we have, and the carafes by themselves are $20. So it's like, gee, where does half of the money for the coffee maker come into? It'll be the coffee carafe. Going through the malls in the 90s and early 2000s and signing up for the car raffles was just a way to get rid of your give your data. Data theft has existed since like before data was data. Yep. I use Amazon for the shit I can't find at the store. Yep. I honestly don't think she ordered it. I don't think she did either. I don't think she did either. I really don't think she did either. Oh. Well, guys, this is at the 2-hour mark. I am going to stop here and make lunch for the kids, and I am having a stomach issue I need to go take care of. But I will be back tonight. We're going to be going up through some combat league, because I've got Ashra gear I want to get. I am going to be practicing smoke offline though, because I want to get smoke to where Ashra is in playability, and so then I can switch between smoke and Ashra at will. But I will be back with the Combat Hour tonight. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. And thank you, Gunfox, for stopping by. I will look at your Twitter for news. Thank you for hitting up the Streamlabs. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday afternoon. And I will see you tonight for the Combat Hour on both YouTube and Twitch. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.